Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about masterminds because I think there's a little bit of a confusion out there exactly what it is, and I know some of you listeners may not 100% understand, exactly what we're doing and exactly what a mastermind is. I'm going to step back and just kind of give you a little bit of a history with myself and the type of masterminds that I'd been involved in. My first mastermind was actually some local individuals out of the Dayton, Ohio area. And there was some pretty high caliber folks that were in the room. There was a guy who owned a big financial firm. There was a business coach that was pretty well known in our area. We also had a lady who was in the accounting realm, so she had like an accounting business that was doing pretty well. We ended up also there was a guy named David Wright who was one of the lead coaches for the Ziglar organization, which is Zig Ziglar. You guys might not. You guys may or may not know who Zig Ziglar is. If you don't know who he is, you probably should. You probably should listen to some of his books. David was one of his lead business coaches that actually certified other people to coach under the Ziglar Enterprise. And let's see here. I want to say there might have been a few other members that would come and go, stuff like that. But ideally, that was the core, and it actually started with me, David, and Dan. Dan was actually the owner of a financial firm here that done really well. I mean, incredible. Although the mastermind, was my very first mastermind that I'd ever been involved in, so I really didn't know what to expect, and it was free, so we just created it together and decided we would storm ideas and things like that, and try to help each other and so on and so on. And I will tell you that was, although I love everybody that was in the group, that was probably the least progressive mastermind that I've ever been involved in. It seemed like every week everybody came back and had the exact same problems, and it just seemed like outside of myself, nobody was really doing anything different than when we started the mastermind. And I mean, it was probably a year and a half later. So I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't really know what to expect when it came to jumping into another mastermind, and so on and so on. So anyhow, long story short, I ended up hiring one of my first business coaches soon after that kind of ended. And one of the things with his coaching was that he had a mastermind along with the coaching. And so everybody that was involved in this mastermind was at least paying a minimum of $5,000 per month. And I know you guys probably think I'm crazy. The very first business coach that I ever hired was a $5,000 per month guy. But he made me way fucking more money than what I paid him. He's internet marketing genius, and he gave me all that, a lot of information and knowledge I didn't have at the time. And I had extreme growth during even the first 3 months of his program. And I also got to sit in rooms with people that actually paid that much money to be part of that mastermind. And it was just a phenomenal difference. I mean, kind of what I chalk it up to is you want to be in a room with people that are so confident in what they're doing that they will invest in themselves. You step back and you look at the previous mastermind that I was in, and like I said, all amazing people, incredible people, and you step back and look at it, and it's like we had such a high caliber group, but there wasn't much movement inside of that mastermind because everybody who was showing there was giving the same amount of effort than what they actually put in. So what the exact amount that they were paying on a monthly basis was tied in with the amount of effort that they were willing to put into that. And it's when I finally discovered that I will never be involved in a mastermind that is free. And in fact, I try to get into the most expensive rooms that I can possibly get into. Long story short, there were some personal things with my previous business coach, and we moved on. We're still very close friends. And I got involved with Apex Executive over this last year. and we have what's called like a fly-in Friday over there once a month. And talk about a room of like high caliber individuals. Now in that room, most people are paying like $25,000 a year, so it wasn't quite as much as the previous mastermind that I was involved in, but and there's just tons of very, very high caliber people. And one of the things that I noticed when it came to like our first meeting, I'll give you an example. So we're out in Dallas, Texas, flew out there, we got our first meeting, and we're sitting there in this room, and we go around the room. Not one of them fucking people, there was like 40 of them in there, not one of them had a bad, negative thing to say about their business, and this is right through the COVID thing. I mean, each and every one of them, not only did they leverage the group, but they also had the innovations in their company and the movement and the things that they were doing. It was just it was a clear difference from being in a group of people that are willing to invest into themselves. And above and beyond that, right now I'm sitting at Zion National Park, and it's a group of people in the automotive industry that have invested in themselves. So all these bought into my mastermind last year, and that was during the last Mega Media event, which was last October, so we're coming up to about a year. And you look at these individuals and see what they've accomplished. I have actually got one of the clients that are in my mastermind that has literally got to the point to where he has a multi-level, million plus operation, and has actually been able to develop it to the point where he can jump back and step away from the business model. And that was one of his giant goals. And when they first came into the mastermind, they were under the idea that it was going to take them years to accomplish this. And so one of the things that I found in our mastermind is that we had two types of people. We had people that were in because you gotta be making $200 to get in it. If you're not making $200,000, we don't allow you in the mastermind. And there's a reason with that. I know some of you guys are probably thinking, damn, you're going to discriminate against me because I make less money. But no. It's a relief to the entire room, the X amount of dollars people are making. But what happens is there's a certain set of problems for each income level. So when people are at like $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year, they're at a level that's an interesting stressor that doesn't have the same solutions to the problems of the guys that are in the $300,000-$400,000 range. And what we kind of found in our room specifically, because we had guys that were anywhere from 200 to 500,000, and then it seemed like we had guys that were around 800 to 2 million. And both of these individuals had two separate sets of problems. The guys who were making less were usually one-man bands, or they only had one employee, and they were looking to try to figure out how to, just grow employees and create a lead generation system that could actually fuel any type of employee growth. The second set of problems, the people were in the millions plus range. Their problems were systemizing their business and getting it to the point to where they could step away, so they're not racking their heads day in and day out trying to keep everything together. They felt like they were the glue that was holding their entire operation together. So that being said, it actually worked out pretty good because the individuals that were at the higher level, I actually hired a lady named Wendy Takaharo to come into our mastermind group and train everybody. She's one of the world's best system experts, and train them on how to develop systems. So we do webinars. In fact, we're just getting ready to do one this coming up next month, specifically on how to train employees, meaning that like what system do you have when employees are coming into your business, because that's a hot topic now. Before it was just like, how can I get this shit to run on its own? But now everybody's gotten to the point where, now we're looking into setting up procedures when an employee comes into your business, just kind of like Fifth Third Bank, that at one point, their peak, they were training 2,500 employees a week. They didn't do that by having employees follow people around and learn off of one individual. They had systems that were developed, and they would know exactly what that person was going to be doing for the first anywhere from 14 to 30 days, or maybe even longer, depending on what the position was. So now we're studying that. We're training that. And there's massive fucking power, because like one of the people at one level will figure something out and they'll bring it back to the group, and it'll help leverage folks that are at a different level because they're trying to come up and they're learning from the guys coming up. And then the guys that are all the way at the top, they're sharing information and knowledge and learning from each other that is helping taking their business to the next level. And Do I think that this group would have been successful if I would have done it for free? Not at all. I know that it wouldn't have, because I know that everybody in that group would have given it the exact same value that they put in it, and they would have never invested in themselves. Same for me. That's it, I can't explain it. Like, half of it is the investment, half of it is you stepping out and saying, "Man, I'm investing in myself. I'm putting this in myself," and there's a motivation behind that that just says, you know, I have to perform now because I invested in myself. And the truth of the matter is, like, I wouldn't allow people in the group who are not willing to invest in themselves. Unfortunately, they're probably going to be stuck at the same mindset and the same level for a long time, until they figure out that they have to invest in themselves to move to the next level. It's just the way it is. I see it time and time again. But I want to give you guys an idea. I want to give you guys an explanation of what a mastermind is, why it's important to invest in yourself for a mastermind. Because number one, like I said, I'm at the point, like, I am a student of this. Like, I invest in myself on a yearly basis. I've invested more in myself in the last 3 years than you could ever imagine. And if you guys think about it, look at how much I've excelled within the last 3 years. Some of you guys who've been following my journey, look at the excel within the last 3 years. Bottom line is, if you want to get to where you're going and you want to get there much, much faster, look, you can either take time, you can trade for time, and it's going to take you forever. I mean, it's going to take you forever because you're just going to, it's going to be trial and error all the time. Or you can invest in something like a mastermind, where you're going to be able to connect with a group of people that have, maybe some guys tried something you haven't tried. You come together, you collaborate, and ideally you're creating one giant mind in the room that helps guide and gear everybody and take everybody to the next level. Or you can do your trial and error method and use your time. And I just find like there's two types of people. Some people understand that time is all we got, and some people think that, like, how I mean, look, you can get money. Like, if you spend money, you can recreate it. If you lose your time, that shit is gone. Like, this moment that we just had, it's gone now. Time is limited. Time is like the little sand jar, and it's disappearing. If you can do things to maximize your time and maximize the amount of time it takes you to get shit done, it's a win situation. Money reappears. And from my experience, anybody who invests in themselves, they begin making so much money they completely forget about how much they spent, because they're gaining more time, they're gaining more, essentially they're gaining wealth quick, fast. So, that being said, guys, just look, if you want to join a free mastermind group and you think it's going to help you, then try it. It didn't work for me. Everybody in that group, nobody puts in the amount of time and effort that it takes to take yourself to the next level. There's an old saying from Napoleon Hill, free advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. It's fucking nothing. Anyhow, guys, that's it. That's just some knowledge I want to drop on you guys today. Hopefully you guys find your pack, find your tribe. Very, very soon, I'll just let you know that I will be opening up something to the nature of a mastermind group in the future. I don't know when it's going to come. I'm just all about, when the timing's right and when it feels right and when the right people show up, it'll appear. That's it. That's all I can tell you. So anyhow, guys, appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.